Recording in progress.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Donna Chow, and I will be your host and your moderator for today's eLotus webinar. Here at eLotus, we have been hosting educational courses for over 2 decades, and we are proud to be your trusted source for premium CEU content with over 200 speakers, 700 courses, and 3,000 hours of continuing education. Today's webinar is How to Improve Clinical Results and Practice Success, presented by Jimmy Yen. Before we begin, I'd like to go over a few items to familiarize yourself with our webinars and how they work. So today's webinar will be from 9 to 6 p.m. and we will have 4 breaks. Usually it's 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, and we have our lunch schedule from 1 to 2 p.m. For lecture notes, you can download them directly from the course access page in your eLotus account. To use the webinar chat room, set your chat preference to everyone so that everyone can see what you're typing and be part of the conversation. To ask Jimmy a question, enter your question into the Q&A box, and if time allows, Jimmy will respond to them. And finally, the quiz and the video replay. You will be notified by email tomorrow once they are available. Now, without further ado, I would like to introduce Jimmy Yen, a seasoned acupuncturist and herbalist with over 10 years of experience. Jimmy started his private practice, Achieve Integrative Health, in 2007 and built it into one of the largest acupuncture clinics in the Austin metro area, where they are focused on quick, effective, and long-lasting results. Since 2018, Jimmy has been an eLotus speaker and has taught classes on neuropathy, diabetes, gastroenterology, and practice management, such as today's class. I recommend the Gold Pass to watch all of his prior courses for free, receive limitless CEUs from hundreds of courses, and get free herbs. Okay, Jimmy, you can go ahead and take over now and share your PowerPoint.
Perfect. Hey, Donna, Sam, great to see y'all. Well, actually, I only saw Donna. Let me share my screen. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being on time. Thank you for showing up on a Sunday. Let me go here. Okay. Are y'all seeing it?
Yes, Jimmy.
Okay.
Right now I'm seeing you at your edited mode. So you want to make it a full screen for us?
Okay, so let me go here. There. Does that work?
I think you share your the second screen. I think right now we're seeing you the the outline type of settings.
Hold on. Let me try this again. It worked a while ago. Here we go. This one. There.
Got it.
Perfect. All right, let me get my screen. And all right. So welcome, everybody. For those of y'all who don't know me, this is going to be a super fun day. If you've never attended one of my webinars, I like to make webinars interactive and also hopefully fun, because I've been on a lot of webinars and sometimes I tend to want to fall asleep while I'm watching. So hopefully you won't fall asleep on me, but that's my responsibility. My responsibility is to keep you awake. So let's move on to the next. So here's the outline of today and the purpose of, I'm going to go over the purpose of today's training. You can see my little mouse, my intentions, the rules for today's webinar, and then I'm going to go over the secret to massive clinical results and practice success, and then the 3 flows of your practice. So let's go to the next purpose of today's training. So the purpose is to increase your clinical results by a minimum of 30%. and also increase your practice results by a minimum of 30%. So clinical results are like your treatment, your technical skills, right? Whether it's acupuncture, herbs, nutrition, diet, those are the clinical skills. What I mean by practice results is like your practice, your business success. So today's training will help you increase it by a minimum of 30%. Number 3, we're going to increase your income by a minimum of 30%, right? If you implement the tools and strategies that I teach you today, you will increase your income. I'm talking about net income, not just revenue, right? And number 4, which is probably the most important to all of us, right? It's going to help you increase the quality of your life by a minimum of 30%. How you measure that is going to be up to you. Like some people, maybe they want to take vacations, right? What if you can take 30% more vacations, right? Or maybe you can help 30% more people, or maybe you can spend 30% more time with your family. That's what this training is going to do. And if you implement everything, it will happen within 90 days, right? Let's move on to the next. My intentions. Why am I doing these webinars? Why do I teach for eLotus since 2000? Like Donna said, since 2018. It's been a while. So my intentions are to elevate our profession. I want to help you get better clinical results, because if you get better clinical results, then that's going to help more people, and that's going to spread the word of traditional Chinese medicine, right? And so I also want you to be able to help more people. If you get better results, you're going to be able to help more people, right? And also help you streamline so that you will be able to not limit yourself to how many people you can help per week, per day, even per hour, right? Number 3, my intention is to have more acupuncturists make over 100,000 a year. And one of the goals that I had in my life is, when I was growing up, at least within the Asian culture, there would be, if an adult came and asked me, what do you want to do when you grow up? And, most people in my generation would say, oh, I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, or a teacher, right? And back then, why, at least when I was a kid, why did you want to become a doctor and a lawyer? Well, it's because of the status. One is the status, right? And then the other one was financial, right? Doctors and lawyers back then made a lot of money. And so that's why every kid, including myself, wanted to become a doctor and a lawyer. And so I was thinking, man, wouldn't it be nice if we could go out in the street today and ask any random kid, right? Any random kid, and just ask them, hey, what do you want to do when you grow up? And what if some of them actually said, I want to be an acupuncturist? I mean, how cool would that be, right? I mean, I think that we would have made it if that happens, right? And so that's why, one of my intentions is to help more acupuncturists who want to make over 100,000 a year. If you don't want to, that's okay. But for those that want to, today's training will definitely help you. And number 4, have more millionaire acupuncturists. And so again, it's to that status, that financial freedom, right? Yes, I know not everybody cares about money. Not everybody wants to make a lot of money. It's not right or wrong. I'm just saying that's my intention. For those that want to, today's training will definitely help you. Okay. Next. So my mission is to help 1 million acupuncturists live a life by their design. So not by someone else's definition, but by your definition. Whatever your life, your ideal life is, that is my mission. That is the way that I think that if I can achieve that, then I would have helped elevate the profession. Because if you achieve the life if you can live the life that you want by your design, not by what the economy dictates or something else dictates, but by your design, then you're going to be super happy, and you're going to want to spread more news about Chinese medicine and how great it is. Okay, how this webinar is different. So for those of y'all who have never attended, well, let me ask y'all, how many of y'all have never attended? This is like your first time watching a webinar by me. If you want to put in the chat, how many of y'all, this is the first time you've watched a video? It's only 2, 3. Okay, so a lot of y'all have seen my webinars before. Okay, great. Okay, they're coming in. They're coming in. Great. So this is going to be an interactive workshop, which, just like I asked you, I'm going to ask a question, right? And you can put your answer in the chat. Now, if you want to ask me a question, you want to put it in a different category. It is in that Q&A. If you look at the bottom, you will see there's a Q&A box, and that's where you put your question to me. But for your answer to when you answer my question, put it in the chat. That way everybody can see what everybody's saying, okay? So number 2, I love to answer questions. All questions will be answered, okay? If I don't get to your question, don't worry. I'm going to give you my email address, and you can ask me after the webinar, okay? I will answer every single person's question, because I think that's important. Being an attendee of a webinar, I hate it when I can't ask the presenter a question, right? So I don't want to do that to you. Number 3, we're going to have some fun, right? Number 4, I apologize in advance for any foul language that may slip my lips, okay? Elementary language, unprofessionalism, egotistic, not proper. I've been called all of those things. So you need to tell me. I already know, all right? So I'm just going to be who I am. All right, I'm not gonna put on something different, like a fake me. This is who you see right now is who I am in person, in my personal life, and also in my clinic. Everything that I teach is very simple. That's why I have been accused of using elementary language, whereas it was like, I've been accused of saying, oh, this is like beginner stuff. Actually, all of my stuff applies to everybody, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Okay, so I apologize in advance if any of those things. My intention is not to offend anybody. My intention is to be myself. I think that's the best thing I can do for you, is to be honest. Number 5, there's going to be no theory here. No theory in my presentations. If you watch my other presentations, none of it is theory. I only teach based off of facts, data, and stats. So no theoretical thinking here. Number 6, I'm not here to tell you what you are doing wrong. I'm here to let you know there are other options. And if you choose to want to do it similar to me, great. If not, great, right? It's your choice. But I'm here to give you options and let you know there are actually different options. Rules for today. You want to use a restroom right now, okay? Because for those of y'all who have been in my webinars, one of the feedbacks that I get a lot is, people don't want to leave their seats because they don't want to miss anything, because I spew out gold nuggets left and right. So you don't want to miss anything, right? So if you need to use your restroom, go use it right now, okay? Number 2, ask questions. But if you ask questions, make sure you stay on topic, okay? I will do my best to stay on topic to answer those questions, but please stay on topic. Number 3, be respectful to all other attendees. I'm going to ask a lot of questions. And people are going to type into the chat, and some of those answers are going to be completely different from what you believe in. But that's okay, right? That's their opinion. You are entitled to your opinion. So don't judge other person's opinion just because it's different from yours. And I will do the same. I will work on that the same, okay? Number 4, everybody is right. Nobody is wrong on this. Actually, the fact that you showed up today, right, is you need to give yourself a pat on the back, because it's a Sunday. I mean, who wants to do a webinar on Sunday, right? And so congratulate yourself on committing to yourself, committing to your clinic, committing to your patients, committing to showing up for your family. So I commend you for that. Number 5, stick with facts and not what you think. So remember, this is the fact-based presentation. It is not based on theory, okay? If you haven't done it, try not to say something about it. Speak on what you have done. That way we can have more honest, open communication with everybody, not just with me. How to get most out of it today. You want to be humble, right? Because I'm going to tell you a lot of things that are going to be opposite of what you probably heard or probably have been taught, especially what you've been taught in school, right? If you think you already know it, you should have already done it, right? So if you think you already know it, you should have done it. You should have the results to prove that you've done it, right? So stop trying to prove me wrong or someone else wrong, right? It doesn't help you achieve your goals. Today is about you and achieving your goals, right? Number two, stay focused on your goals, right? Stay focused on achieving your goals and not your ego. Don't let your ego get in the way of you providing for your family, for yourself, for your patients, right? Number three, take tons of notes. Yes, I speak very fast. So if I'm speaking too fast, just let me know in the chat to slow down or to repeat something, because I get excited talking about this. I love helping other acupuncturists. I love helping entrepreneurs. I love helping our profession. So I get excited, and the more excited I get, the faster I talk. Okay, so take tons of notes. All right. So before we continue, I was tasked to tell you when our breaks are going to be. Okay, so we are going from, this is Pacific Standard Time. So the first break will be at 12. Let's see. I wrote the breaks down. Now I don't know when I put the breaks. It should be an hour and a half in between. So let's go like 11:30, because we're going to break at, actually, no, let's do 10. That would be 10:30. So an hour and a half is 10:30. Okay. So 10:30 will be the first break, and then around 12 will be the second break. Okay, so that's Pacific Standard Time. So 10:30 and 12, right? In the afternoon, I'll tell you when the afternoon, but let's get rolling. Who's ready? If you're ready, type ready. If you're not ready, type not ready. Ready? Great. Let's go. Number one secret to clinical success, all right, is the key to having a practice of your dreams does not require money. Everybody thinks, oh, I need money to have, it's the reason why I can't, grow my practice. The reason why I can't help more people is because I don't have money. Actually, it doesn't require money. It requires one secret ingredient. If I can get to the next one, it's communication. If you can communicate, you don't need money. You don't need money to grow, right? But you need communication. Now let's first, in order to understand, this is something that I like to do. I like to define words so that I know what it means, right? So this is I just Googled it. The word communication is a process by which information is exchanged between individuals, okay? Information is transmitted. A system, it's also a system, communication is a system for transmitting and exchanging information. So here's the key thing in the definition. A process by which information is exchanged or transmitted, okay? Exchange means I'm delivering a message to you, right? And then you give me feedback into, do you understand what I just communicated or you don't? That is communication. Communication is not just me lecturing to you and I don't care if you understand or don't, if you didn't even receive my message. That's not communication. Communication is an exchange. So if there is no exchange, there is no communication. And that's the same with our patients. When you are telling your patients, hey, I need you to do this, and your patient's like, I don't know why. I mean, they probably won't even tell you that. They'll probably think, why are you telling me to do this, right? But you as a practitioner, you did not make sure that the patient understood what you said, then there was no communication, right? So this is key to understanding the definition. There has to be an exchange. If there is no exchange, there is no communication. And that's the reason why throughout today, I'm going to be asking you a lot of questions, because I want to make sure communication is taking place. Did you understand what I was saying? I'm not saying if you agree with it or not, but did you understand it, right? Some of you are going to agree, some of you are going to disagree. But with patients, if they disagree, you need to make sure you understand. You need to ask them, why do they disagree? Because here's the thing. If they don't, let me use an example. If you're talking to your patients about diet, they want to come in for diabetes, weight loss, or whatever, right? And diet is super important, right? And now you're telling them, hey, I need you to stop eating donuts, right? And they don't, maybe they won't agree, right? I was like, I don't want to stop eating donuts. I love my donuts, right? And so they may disagree, but they may understand, right? But then you have to go the next step and you have to say, okay, why, if losing weight is going to require you to stop eating donuts, what's going to be more important to you, eating donuts or losing weight? Right? You have to get some understanding of why they don't want to stop eating donuts. It could be that maybe weight loss is not that important to them, even though they came in for weight loss. Yes, this happens. This is why communication is important, right? There needs to be frequent communication. Otherwise, you have no idea what the patient wants. And so you may be treating them for one thing, but in reality, they want something else. Then there is no communication. And when that happens, that's when you start seeing patients just ghost you. For those of y'all who don't know what ghost is, basically they just stop showing up, right? They just disappear in thin air, or they stop following your treatment plan. Like you told them to come twice a week, but now they're only coming once a week. And then they come once every other week. And you're like, what the hell are you doing? And they just don't follow your treatment plan, right? So you have to get clear communication if you want your patients to follow your instructions, follow your treatment plans so that they can get the result that they want. All right. Next. So the 3 flows of your practice. If you can master these 3 flows, you can have the practice of your dreams. Whatever that is, that's your definition. Whatever practice you want, you can have it. Guaranteed. If you can master these 3 flows in your practice of communication. Okay. So that's what we're going to go over. So first flow is flow. Okay. That's flow. Flow of new patients into your practice. They're flowing into your practice. Okay. So once they flow into your practice, then, well, they're not new patients yet. We call them leads. Okay. So leads are flowing into your practice. What do you need to do next? You need to convert them. That's why flow number 2 is conversion. You need to convert them into a new patient. So once they become a new patient, what do you need to do next? You need to retain them. Why do you need to retain them? You need to retain them so that they can stay long enough for you to do your magic, right? Because you're not going to cure somebody. You're not going to get rid of diabetes in one treatment. You're not going to get rid of menopause in one treatment. You're not going to get rid of anything that's chronic in one treatment. Okay? So you need to retain them. And that's an issue that I see since I coach acupuncturists all over the world to help build their practice and improve their clinical skills. And one of the things that I see a lot is most clinics have a poor retention, which means is their patients don't stay long enough for them to do their magic. A lot of them, the patient comes in 3 times and then they're gone. It's not because they were fixed. Okay, so these are the 3 flows you need to master. the 3 flows of your practice, the main chi or the driving force of these 3 flows is communication, right? Just by improving your communication skills, you're going to be able to get more referrals, free new patients. You're going to be able to improve your clinical results. Why? Because they stay longer. They stay longer, and for you to do your magic. And even sometimes, nobody's 100%, right? Nobody's 100% effective. Not even me. I'm not 100%. I don't claim to be, right? And so in order to improve your clinical results, you need sometimes we don't know what to do for a specific case, but you want the patient to still come back for you to try different things, right? So that, because you've got all these tools in your tool belt and you've only used one tool and it didn't work. Okay, you need to tell the patient, hey, can I try tool number 2, number 3, number 4, right? How do you communicate that to the patients to let you try when you already failed with your first tool? That's what we're going to teach you today. That's the power of communication. Because if you know how to communicate, right, then the patient, by their choice, they will choose to let you try tool number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, right? Until you can help them. It's all communication. Number 3, communication is going to increase your net income. When I coach acupuncturists, I would say I've been part of other coaching companies myself, and everybody talks about revenue, gross revenue, right? Gross revenue doesn't mean crap, right? It's what you take home, net income, that really matters, right? And so by improving your communication, you will increase your net income. Yes, you will increase your gross revenue also, right? But it will increase your net income. Number 4, for those of y'all who have a passion to help a ton of people, a shit ton of people, right? Better communication is going to help you do that. And number 5, increase your personal wealth. A lot of people, not everybody, wants financial freedom. And if you want financial freedom, you need to learn how to communicate. Communicate to everybody, not just your patients, your family members, your team, if you have staff, right? Your family, right? Your friends. Communication is the key. So the first flow, what does flow mean? Flow means getting new people to flow into your clinic. So getting leads, right? Getting leads into your clinic. There's different ways of getting leads. A lot of people spend money on Google ads. They spend money on Facebook ads, advertising, and all that stuff. And I've done all of the above before, but I don't do that now. We get all of our patients for free. Just through communication, you can have a surplus of new patients calling your office for free. You didn't spend any advertising dollars. You can get them for free. You can have a surplus of that. Like our clinic, we see about 180 to 200 patients a week, and we are over flooded with new patients. Like, I don't like to have a waiting list. I don't believe in a waiting list. But we are having to push new patients out 3 weeks out, which is unheard of because we have a big team and we always squeeze people in. I don't make people wait. But because we are over flooded with new patients, and all of these are free, they're just calling our office, right? And all of that, I would say majority of that was done through communication. We spend $0 on advertising. So that's what I'm going to teach you on how to communicate to get free new patients. Let me ask, who wants some free new patients? Put in the chat, put free. You want free new patients? Type in the chat. Awesome. Great. I have to ask, I don't want to assume, okay? I think everybody wants free patients, right? But some people actually want to pay for their patients. They want to do the Google ads. They want to do the Facebook ads. And that's more power to them. I like to do free, okay? All right, second flow, conversion. So once you get the lead into your clinic, they call your office, right? They call your office. If you have a staff like a front desk, how is your front desk converting them to a new patient, right? That is important. That's all communication, right? Because it's over the phone. It's all communication. So it's getting that new flow of people to become new patients. So communication is key. And then when they come in for the initial exam, you have to convince them, convert them to start treatments, right? That's all through communication. It's not through stabbing people, right? And in our office, if y'all want to learn how we do this, some people don't want to do it this way, but in our clinic, we have new patients prepay for their first visit when they call in our office, right? They prepay for their first visit. We call it an initial exam. So if they don't prepay, they don't get into our books. They cannot schedule. That's what we do in our office. And if you want to learn that, we can go over it when we go over the conversion part, right? But if you don't, it's okay. If you want to do free consultations, it's still communication, right? But I just want to give you insight into what actually my team actually does. And even though we have people prepay, it's a requirement, they prepay to get into our books, we still see more patients than any clinic in Austin, Texas, right? So just because we have people prepay does not mean we see less. You actually see more. And the last flow is you have to have the patient stay long enough. They can't just stay 3 or 6 treatments, right? Then you don't have the time to showcase the power of Chinese medicine. It takes time, right? You're not going to fix Hashimoto's in 6 treatments. You're not going to fix neuropathy in 6 treatments, right? So you have to communicate that to the patients so they have the right expectations. If they have the right expectations, they will stay as long as you need them to stay. That's up to you to determine, because you're the acupuncturist, you're the provider, right? It's not the patient. The patient doesn't know how long it's going to take. You are the professional. You know how long it's going to take. But then you need to communicate your knowledge to them so they understand it and they are willing to stay. It's their choice to stay, right? So, and last, you have to have having patients understand the importance of maintenance care. So there's been, I would say, this is like a touchy subject. Some acupuncturists believe in maintenance care. Some acupuncturists believe you should treat them once their symptoms gone, and just kick them out, right? So let me ask you, how many of you get some type of TCM treatment on a weekly basis? So who gets treatments? Who gets weekly treatments for yourself? Oh, only 2 people? Wow. Every 2 weeks. You wish you can treat yourself. And so for me, I do some type of treatment almost every week. It may not be acupuncture. It may be herbs. And actually, I take that back. I do a treatment to myself every day. Why? Isn't diet part of the treatment? I am very strict with my diet. I eat exactly the way that I teach my patients. Yeah, self-care. That's a better question. Ya Sung actually asked a better question. Who does self-care every day? Type in the chat. Who does self-care every day? Great. So I think that was a better question. Great. So a lot of y'all are doing self-care. Now let me ask you this. If self-care is good enough for you, isn't it good enough for your patients? Does that make sense? So if you're not helping your patients providing them tools so that they can do self-care, then are you missing the boat? Because Chinese medicine, the strength of Chinese medicine is prevention, right? Self-care is prevention. That's what maintenance care is. Maintenance care is to help your patients develop a great self-care, daily self-care routine. Doesn't mean that they won't need you. Like we have our patients come, when we get to the maintenance phase of treatments, we have them come once a month, like a tune-up, right? Why do we do that? Because life gets in the way. A little thing called COVID got in the way, right? So many things, many situations happen. People lose their jobs, they have family members die, and their body goes back into, I would say, imbalance. They're so stressed out and anxious, they're not worrying about self-care at that time. So they need professional help. And that's why we have our patients come once a month in maintenance. Okay. All right. Okay. So for those of y'all who don't know me, you'll notice I didn't introduce myself until now, right? And so I do things differently. So I have the largest acupuncture clinic in Austin, Texas. I started my practice in 2007 and built it into the largest one. And there's 400 plus acupuncture clinics in Austin, right? To give you a little reference. I started my practice with $110,000 debt. I actually started my practice with a $10,000 credit card loan because I didn't have any money. And I turned it into a 1.2 million. Actually, we're probably going to hit 1.5 million this year, cash-based practice in Austin, Texas. My practice is on autopilot. What that means is it runs by itself. It's automated. I actually retired at the age of 41 in 2017. I don't have to do anything anymore. I don't have to treat anymore. I don't have to do anything. I still do. I don't treat patients as much these days. What I do is I spend my time doing these things: webinars, coaching to help other acupuncturists. I'm going to spend the second half of my life helping to elevate our profession. That is my mission. So when I say my mission is to help 1 million acupuncturists, I wasn't joking around, right? So because I don't need to work right now. My practice is self-sustaining. It's actually still growing. My team grows it for me. And we help on average 183 patients per week, right? So that's a little bit about me. I wrote this book, Achieve a Life of Wellness. You can get that on Amazon, right? But that's a little bit about me. If people are more interested in my story later, I can go over it. But today is about you. So in these, one second. In today's presentation, you're going to see like bits of these success tips, right? Pay attention to these success tips. They're my tips and they're my jewels that I have, learned the hard way, right? So the first one, what you consistently focus on is what you will consistently attract. What does that mean? If you focus on all the problems that are in your life every day, the only thing you're going to get more of is problems. So one thing that I do with my team, so those of y'all who have some staff, employees, or even with your families, right? Your family is your team. What we do is we share wins every morning. We share patient wins, right? We share our team wins because we want to start off the morning focusing on winning. That way, the rest of the day, we just keep winning, right? Because if we start the day in the morning, we just talk about, what's not going wrong? What patient is complaining, or my spouse is, pissing me off. My kid is pissing me off. If we just start focus on that every single morning, then the rest of the day, we're just going to get more of that, right? So this applies to everything. If you keep on focusing on things that don't work in your practice, I'm not saying don't focus on, I mean, don't look at them and find a solution. I'm just saying, if you keep on focusing on, man, I don't have enough new patients. Man, I don't have enough money. Man, I'm just not getting results with my patients. Man, it's just like all this negativity. You're just going to attract more negativity. It all starts up here. Communication starts up here. You don't communicate first. You think about what you're going to communicate first, then you communicate it out. So the first step actually is what you think. So if you don't change how you think, then what comes out of your mouth just is negativity. And who wants to be around someone that's just negative all the time, right? People are attracted to positivity, positive things. Like even patients. When you see your patient, one rule. See, I'm just throwing all of these nuggets. If y'all need to make sure y'all are taking notes, right? I am delivering one thing that I do when I teach is I always over deliver. Now you're not going to catch the over delivering if you're not taking notes and paying attention. So I'm about to drop some other success tips. When a patient walks into your office, what do you do? Do you ever pay attention to how you react? How do you respond? I'll tell you what my team is required to do. Every time a patient walks into our office, my admin, every one of us, whoever's up front, needs to stand up. If they're sitting down, they need to stand up. Put on a big ass smile and greet that patient. Okay? So you need to be excited. Are you excited every single time you see a patient? A simple thing like this will change your practice. Just think about it. For those of y'all who think about the last time you have went to a Western medicine clinic or you took someone there. When you went to the front desk, how was the receptionist? A lot of times they're like irritated, right? They're like, what do you want? That's the first impression they're projecting. And how does that make you feel? You're like, man, you feel like crap, right? You're like, what the hell, right? So imagine if you did that to your own patients. Maybe you're not as nasty as them, but the fact if you don't smile, the smile is probably the number one form of communication. Just by smiling, you can change the other person's energy. You can change their tone level. Why? Because try this. I want you to try this tomorrow, or even after today. Go outside, go to a place, the grocery store, or go to the mall or someplace where there's a lot of people, and just smile. Smile and then look the people in the eye. You don't have to say a thing. Just smile. Guess what that person's going to do? Who knows? Who knows? If you just smile, don't say a word, just smile and look at them in the eyes. Guess what that other person will do? Who knows? Exactly. They will smile and you didn't even say a word. And then when you smile, think about this. Can you be pissed off if you're smiling? Think about this. Can you be pissed off when you're smiling? It is literally impossible. You cannot be angry if you're smiling. So next time when you're pissed off, just smile to get yourself out of that, right? It is impossible. I'm just telling you, this is a secret right here. Just the power of the smile. It doesn't matter if you're wearing a mask. When you smile, your eyes smile also. People can see your smile under the mask. It does not matter. Because I know that's going to be an objection by somebody. People, oh, I can't see your smile. Yes, people can see your smile, right? So just by doing this one thing, when the patient walks in, smile, stand up, be excited to see them. And when you do that, they instantly start feeling better. And you haven't even stuck a needle in them. We have so many testimonials, patients writing, man, I felt great and not even have a treatment yet. It was because of the way I trained my team to smile and provide 5-star service. Okay. So hopefully you like that little nugget right there. All right, flow. We're going to get into flow. All right. So there's two types of flow. There's paid and there's free. Both require communication to successfully attract flow. And I saw a lot of people like free. Let me ask this. Anybody want paid flow? Does anybody want paid new patients? Does anybody want to pay for their new patients? Yes. One person wants to pay for their patients. Okay. Either way, it requires communication, right? What you put in your copy, your Facebook ad, your Google ads, those words are communication. Smiling was communication. It's just a different form of communication. So words also communicate. So if your Facebook ad, Google ads aren't working, okay? If they're not working, it's because the words you use are not communicating effectively. There's no exchange. They don't see value, right? So if you want to get them to work, you need to change the words. Words matter. So I've done it all. Okay, I've went through all of this. I've paid professionals to do it. I've paid local professionals, national professionals, so-called experts, blah blah blah. I've paid them all. I used to spend $10,000 a month on paid ads. It got me nothing, but I still spent it. So that's why I'm speaking from experience. Not saying that these can't work. They can work. Okay, it just requires money, and it depends on your demographics. Those do matter. It does not work the same everywhere. So Google ads, retargeting, geofencing. Some of y'all may not have even heard of these things. I've done it all. That's why I'm telling you. Retargeting is once they click on your ad, then there's a program that will follow their IP address everywhere they go. And so your ad will always show up wherever they go. Like if you go to like Amazon and they have ads on the side, then your ad will pop up. That's retargeting. Okay. Geofencing. This sounds pretty scary. So geofencing is they can put a like a little geofence, a fence around a specific location. So let's say you treat, like I specialize in neurology. So they could go to a neurologist clinic, they could Google that address and see the building, and they could put a little fence around that neurologist building, and it will track every person who walks out of that neurologist building and has their phone on, because it's tracking their I think their IP address. Yeah, this is some crazy shit. Okay, they can track everybody that's using their phone that leaves that office, and then they can get those IP address, and you can target them with your ad. Right? There's Facebook ads, there's magazine ads, there's newspaper ads, there's search engine optimization. Right? Your website. I know a lot of acupuncturists, they spend like $2 to $3 grand paying someone to build their website, to do SEO. And I'm telling you, it's a waste of money because they don't know. Nobody knows exactly how there's no cause and effect. With SEO, it's, oh, we think this will get you're up to #1 in Google ads. I mean, Google search. Okay. But they don't know. You know why they don't know? This is what they're going to tell you. Oh, Google keeps changing their algorithm. That's why we got to keep changing things, which is true. Google does change their algorithms. Okay. But there are actually other ways to get SEO. You do need SEO. You do need a website. Okay. But we're not going to spend too much time on this because everybody wants free, just like me. And that's what we're going to spend majority of our time on, right? So these are the free ways of getting free flow into your practice. One is referrals. Everybody knows referrals. Referrals are the best patients, right? And everybody wants a referral-based practice. 63% of our clinic's new patients are from referrals. That's why I say we get free patients, right? 63%. Okay, so I'm going to teach you how to communicate and get those referrals, right? And I'm not talking about 1 referral a month. I'm talking about 3 to 4 new patient referrals a week, not a month, a week. Okay, social media. Some people are like, ugh. Like, yeah, social media, yeah. I was like that too. And I still hate social media. But right now, we get a shit ton of patients from social media for free. We don't do any ads, right? #1, social media right now. So if you're not, one of my mentors told me this, for those of y'all who hate social media, just like me. Social media is for you to use. So use social media, but don't be used by social media. Does that make sense? You use social media, but don't be used by social media. Okay? So that's how I do social media. I hate social media, but I use it to get me free patients. Google search ranking, super important, right? You want to be on page 1 of your city. So like for me, I'm actually in a suburb of Austin called Cedar Park, Texas. So when you Google Cedar Park acupuncture, I'm #1. You Google acupuncture Cedar Park, I'm #1. I've been #1 for over 10 years. Okay, it's super important. And then the 4th one, OPS. No, it's not OPP, it's OPS. Other people's stages, right? And we'll go over more about this. And free talks. Free talks, similar to OPS, right? But these are ways that we get free patients, right? Exactly, OPP, yeah, you know me. We're getting too old. All right, success tip. What gets measured grows. So if you want more new patients, you need to measure where your new patients are coming from. If you don't measure it, it won't grow. Just like what do you want to grow? You want to grow the number of patients you treat? Are you tracking it every day, every week? If you're not tracking it, it won't grow. If you want to increase your net income, are you looking at your net income? Are you looking at your revenue? If you're not looking at it, we look at our numbers, our revenue, our patient visits, our retention, our new patients every single day because we want it to grow, right? And also, if you right now, for those of y'all who like the NBA playoffs are going on, right? Go Golden State. That's my team. But do you notice how often they track the score? How often does a basketball game track their score? Someone want to answer? Someone know? Exactly, constantly. Your clinic is just like a game. If you treat it like a game, it's going to be fun. If you treat it like work, you're going to hate it, right? So you got to track it. That's why we track it. We track it every day. We go over our stats every single day. So if you don't measure it, it will not grow. Here's another success tip. When you're treating, let's say, diabetes, blood pressure, are you tracking it for the patient, right? Or are you telling the patient to track it? So this is key. If you want to see how your treatments are doing, and for your patients to see how your treatments are doing, you need to track that. So if you're treating like weight loss, these are numbers, right? You're treating fertility, BBTs. You're treating hypertension, blood pressure. You're treating tachycardia, heart rate. Did I say diabetes already? Diabetes, blood sugar. You should be tracking this every single day, making the patients track it every single day, and then you graph it. There is nothing more powerful than showing a person a graph. And I say this because recently we've had a flood of hypertension, and my associates were showing me the graphs. And yeah, all of the graphs were going like this. I can't see myself, so hopefully y'all can see me. Okay, the graphs were going like this, right? So the patient's like, wow, right? You don't need to say a word. You just show them the graph. This is what our treatments are doing. Bam. So if you didn't write that, you just missed on a golden tip. Next, flows. Let's see. Referrals. All right. So how do we get referrals? How do you get referrals? Communication. That's what this whole day's course is about, communication. So the key is when to ask. That's important, okay? When the patient walks into your clinic and they report, they're feeling great. So like when a patient walks into your clinic and you're like, hey Debbie, how's it going? And Debbie's like, man, I'm feeling awesome. Bam, that's when you ask. When's the next time you ask? After the treatment, the patient comes up to check out. He's like, hey Debbie, so how you feeling? How's your treatment? How was your treatment? If you don't have a front desk, then you're just like, so how do you feel now? Man, I feel so good. Bam, right there. You ask again. Those are the times when you ask because they are feeling so good, right? I'm going to tell you what I say, but it's not that important. It's not so much how you ask for the referral. The importance is the timing of the ask. So when you ask is the most important. Obviously, you don't want to ask them when they're saying, hey, man, I'm worse. I don't think this is working. Obviously, you don't ask for a referral then. So how do you ask? Right? What do we say? There's different ways of saying this. So the patient comes in or comes up and says, man, I'm feeling great. Awesome. So Mary, can you do me a favor? Can you share your experience, your phenomenal experience that you've had in our clinic, so that I can, and I'm gonna record it on video, okay? And I want to use that video to help other people know that acupuncture and Chinese medicine is so phenomenal for migraines, Bell's palsy, or whatever the patient's coming in for. So that's what we do when we ask for referral. It's very simple. The reason why a lot of acupuncturists don't get more referrals is just because they don't ask. So you have to ask. So if you break down what I just said, I told them what I want them to do. I told them, what's the purpose of it? Why am I doing it? because patients want to know. Patients want to know, why are you doing it? Why are you asking me to do something? So I said it all in that one sentence. I first asked them for permission. Can you do me a favor? Can you share your phenomenal results, your phenomenal experience you're having here in our clinic on video? Can you just share it? Just a few minutes, right? Just tell me what you just told me. Just share it, right? Because I want to use it to be able to help more people who are suffering with the same condition you are, that may not know that acupuncture and Chinese medicine can help that. And so it's important that you have your phone. You just need to do it on the phone. Don't make it like a big production, okay? If you're gonna like, oh, okay, great. We need to first do makeup, and then we need to do some lighting, some light check, and then we need to do some audio check. Don't do any of that stuff. That will freak out people. So all you're gonna do is just grab your phone right here. Hey, Mary, can you do me a favor? Can you share your phenomenal experience that you're having in our clinic on video so that I can use that video to share it with other people who may not, who are struggling with the same condition you're struggling with, but may not know that acupuncture can help them. All you have to do is just talk to me, and then I'll just click record and just have the phone by my side and then just talk to them. Doesn't matter you're talking to them in the voice, okay? Just talk to me. And after they're done, stop. Okay? So if you're having problems to go on video, it's because you're not saying it. Remember, communication, the way you're communicating it to them is freaking them out. So you have to change the way you communicate. Do we get everybody to do it? No. But I would say about 90% of them, when we ask, they do it. It's just the way that you ask. Okay? All right, let me pause for a second. I haven't answered any questions. So let me answer some questions. I'm going to the QA box. If you want to ask a question, you got to put in the Q&A box. My man Dean's been loading up the Q&A box. But what if you don't know how long it is going to take? You're probably wondering, you're probably asking how long it will take to get the result. Yeah, you just tell them. It's communication. Nobody ever knows exactly how long it will take. I don't know. I just give a rough estimate. So the key is, and here's another gold nugget. One of our core values that I live by, and also is my clinic's core values, is transparency. Transparency means we are completely honest, straightforward all the time, with ourselves, with our team, with our patients. We will never lie. So Dean's question, he asked, what if you don't know how long it's going to take? I'm assuming he's saying, well, if you don't know how long it's going to take to fix the problem. Like I said, we don't know. We don't know. But we just tell them it's going to take a few months. Just be honest with them. Do not hide information. I've been in other coaching programs that, they tell me to pretty much lie, right? I don't recommend doing any of that. I recommend you being 100% transparent with your patients. They will appreciate it. When you don't know, just say you don't know. Don't try to fake it, okay? Yasung Han, proud of your success. Please compare your clinical strategy to that of Robert Doan's. I don't know Bob Doan's clinical strategy, so I don't know. If you know, then yeah, I've never studied with him, so I don't know. How did you get your Google ranking up so high? There's many secrets. So one of it, there's many things. There's many things that you can do. So I'm going to give you a gold nugget. So is everybody listening? Is everybody ready? This is the #1 way that I got my Google listing. I got to #1 on my city/acupuncture. Okay, everybody ready? I'm only going to say it once. People pay me thousands of dollars for this. Only one person's ready. Nobody else is ready? Just a few more is ready. Okay, everybody, all right, here we go. Perfect. Here's the secret. When you have a new patient call your office, always, like, don't email them your new patient forms. Put your new patient forms onto your website. And then have every single new patient go to your website, download the new patient forms from your website. That forces every new patient to hit your website. Google will put the websites that are getting constantly hit. That is how I got to #1. Okay. All right. For those of y'all who missed it, too bad. Okay. How is the easiest or least expensive way to track all these variables? Excel. Dean. How much is enough or too much communication with phone calls, emails, texts to patients when they have credit treatments had good results previously? How much is too much communication with phone calls to patients when they have credit treatments? Dean, can you elaborate on that? Because I don't understand that question. What do you use to make graphs? Iris, I use Excel. Iris also asks, what do you do with the video of testimonials? Great question. So what do we do? So once we get the video testimonial, right? Oh, sorry. I just realized I gave you the script to ask for a video testimonial. I didn't give you the script to ask for a referral. I will go over that script. Nobody addressed that. But the video testimonials, you put it on your website and you put it on YouTube, and you transcribe it, and you create what I call the hallway of fame. Like in my clinic, we have a long hallway. We don't put beautiful pictures, posters, my diploma, my education. We don't put any of that stuff. None of that stuff matters. The whole hallway is full of testimonials. If you go to my website, achieveintegrativehealth.com, there's a picture of it. We have a whole hallway of testimonials, and all of those were from videos. It's like over 100 on the wall, floor to ceiling. Okay. You talk about impressing a patient. That will impress a patient. All right. One last question. Do you put the videos on your website? I answered that question. Any special permission needed from the patient regarding the video that can be used? So when you're recording the video, right? You're gonna verbally ask them. So Jenny, I'm gonna hit record. So after Jenny says yes, okay, great, Jenny, thank you. So I'm gonna hit record, Jenny. I'm gonna hit record, bam. All right, Jenny, do you give me permission to use this testimonial to put on our website, our newsletter, and our YouTube page? So you have them recorded saying they give you permission. That's how you do it. Okay, now let's go back. I'll come back to the Q&A later, okay? So I forgot to tell you the script on how to ask for referrals. I told you how to get a video testimonial. So same thing, when the patient walks into the clinic, feeling great. After the patient comes up, man, I'm feeling great. How you feeling? How are you feeling, Mary? Man, I'm feeling great. Mary, that's awesome. Mary, who do you know that also has migraines, that's also suffering from migraines, right? And would like to have a better quality of life? Who do you know? That's one way. Mary, who do you know? Man, I'm super excited that you're feeling great. Man, that's awesome. Mary, let me ask you a question. Who do you know that right now, their quality of life, their health just sucks, and they're looking for help, that you want to help them feel better? Who do you know? That's how you ask for referrals, because then they'll tell you, right? Oh man, I know so-and-so. Oh yeah, they're just struggling. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. You know what you can do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this gift certificate, and it basically reduces our initial exam, which is normally 287. It reduces it to 69. So what was your friend's name? Okay, Steve. Okay, great. I'm going to put Steve right here. I'm going to say it's from Mary. Okay. Now this is going to expire in 2 weeks, right? So I'm going to give you this gift certificate. Now I want you to give this to Steve. Okay, give it to Steve. Tell him, I don't know if I can help him, but I think it's worth finding out, because it's helping you, right? So I want you to give this to Steve and let me know, right? Who else do you know? Anybody else come up, you know, that you're thinking about right now? Oh, my sister-in-law, my sister-in-law, Susie. Okay, great. So I'm going to write another gift certificate. I'm going to put Susie, right? It's going to expire in 2 weeks. Okay. I'm going to say it's from you, Mary. So again, I want you to give this to Susie also. So make sure you give these to them like today. If not today, tomorrow, because it expires in 2 weeks. Okay. Bam, done. That's how you ask for referrals. All right. Let's move on. Let me make sure time. We've got time. We've got about 20 minutes. Okay. So social media. You either love it or you hate it, right? Usually we see one of those extremes. And so the communication secret is you want to focus on the benefit of your audience. Okay? Don't talk about yourself. That's the secret of social media. Like social media, and don't even talk about acupuncture initially. The mistakes that I see with social media posts, organic posts, even in Facebook ads, Instagram ads, now TikTok ads, I see this mistake. Acupuncturists are either only talking about themselves and how great they are or how great their practice is, or they're talking about how great acupuncture is, right? People don't care. People only care about WIIFM. WIIFM. Who knows what that means? WIIFM. Who knows what that? Exactly. Yep. People only care about themselves. We do too, right? We're all selfish. We care about ourselves first. So that's why when you're doing a social media post, it should be about your audience, the person you're attracting, not about you, not about Chinese medicine. They don't care about Chinese medicine. They have a problem. They're looking for a solution. They're not looking for Chinese medicine. So I'll give you some examples, but I want you to know, I want to go through the script first. So this script, it's not so much what you talk about. It's more about frequency and consistency. At the end of the day, to be successful on social media, what I mean by successful is actually getting new patients from social media. In order to get new patients from social media, you need to follow this rule: frequency and consistency. Actually, this is the rule to marketing in general. Regardless of what type of marketing you do, paid advertisement, it's still the same thing. Frequency and consistency. If you're not frequent with it, you're not consistent with it, you're not going to get new patients. That's why the paid stuff costs a lot of money, because you got to be frequent, you got to be consistent. And some of y'all, when y'all hear the frequency, you're going to be like, man, I ain't doing that. Again, then you got to ask yourself, do you want to pay for your new patients or you want to get free? There's a difference. Paid does not live forever. Paid marketing, advertising does not live forever. When you put a Facebook ad and Google ad, once you run out of money, that ad goes away. It is gone. Nobody will ever see it again. That's the downside. Whereas free, what we call organic social media posts, it stays there forever. Like you can literally scroll back 2 years ago and your post will still be there. It is there forever. Okay. So it does require you to do it frequently. Yes, Valerie, it does require time. So you're going to have to choose what you want to do. Because if you're not willing to invest the time, then you're going to have to pay for it. That's what paid advertising is paying for it, right? Which I'm not saying it's bad. Like I said, I've done it before. And I eventually will get back to doing it. In addition to everything we do organically, right? But the paid is not going to build your culture. It's not going to build your brand for your clinic. The organic is what builds your brand. Once you have that brand, which does take time. Yes, it takes a whole lot of time. It could take years, right? That's why most people don't build brands, because it takes years. But if you do it, then you will have constant inflow of new patients. So what I'll tell you is this, to give you some perspective. What I do right now, I do one video post 4 days a week. It takes me 5 minutes to do that video post. That's it. Right now, I have a team that repurposes those videos and it puts it on all the different channels. Okay. Some of you are thinking, well, but I don't have a team. I'm just by myself. And that's what I'm going to tell you. I always started by myself. When I started doing social media, I did all of it. The reason why it takes most people 30 minutes to an hour to do one post is because of this mistake. They want to make it look pretty. They wanted to edit the video. Why does it only take me 5 minutes or less? I don't edit. I do very little editing. When I first started doing social media, the only thing I did, picked up my phone, hit record, start talking, hit record, bam, done. Most people don't want to do that because most people don't want to look stupid, don't want to look silly, don't want to look like incompetent or whatever you're afraid of. I don't care because I understand what is the success recipe. The success recipe is frequency and consistency. It is not great material. It is frequency plus consistency. It is not beautiful looking posts. That's why people fail. So if you want to get new patients from social media, frequency plus consistency. I'm saying this over and over because I want to make sure you hear it. Frequency plus consistency. Okay? Did you hear it? Frequency plus consistency. So it's the post that you do. I used to do one post every single day, 7 days a week. It only took me 5 minutes. Are you saying you do not have 5 minutes of your, or you do not find it's important to spend 5 minutes of your day to do one post to benefit your clinic? It only takes 5 minutes. All right. And here's another data. Last year in 2021, I don't know how many of y'all read this article. Guess which search engine was the number one rated search engine in the world? Guess which search engine was that? Who knows? Type it in the chat. Who knows what was rated the number one search engine in 2021? Got 2 for Google. It wasn't Google. Duck. Never heard of that. DuckDuckGo. Okay. Most people think it was Google, right? Google was number 2. TikTok was number 1. TikTok was the number 1 search engine in the world. So why am I telling you that statistic? Because if you're not on TikTok, you're losing out. I am huge on TikTok. I started with 0. I have over 900,000 followers right now. All organic, all doing a 60-second post. Just me talking. I have a patient right now, found me on TikTok, lives in San Antonio, and that's about 2 hours away from my clinic. She's been driving to my clinic for the past 4 months. I had her coming 3 times a week. She was driving 2 hours one way to come to my clinic because she found me on TikTok. I referred her to other acupuncturists near her city. And she checked them out, but she's like, because she had already built that trust in me from watching my TikToks, that she said, no, I'm gonna drive here. I don't care if it takes me 2 hours every time. So she's on the road 4 hours and she's in my clinic for 45 minutes, but she's on the road for 4 hours just to get treatments from my clinic, right? That's the power of social media. And also we get inquiries from all over the world. And because I coach other acupuncturists, I have a network that I will refer patients. Like they contact me and they ask me, so who do you know? Who do you trust in so-and-so? So then I refer them out. So I've given quite a few, of course, some here in the US, and actually quite a few in Australia, because I coach a lot of Australian acupuncturists. So I've actually, through my TikTok, they watch my TikTok and I refer them to an acupuncturist that I trained, and then now they're seeing them. That's the power of social media, right? And TikTok is the it platform right now. Will it change? Yes. Facebook used to be the it platform, and then Instagram, and then now TikTok. So if you're not in social media, you're really losing big, okay? That's just my point. All right. OPS. Actually, let me go to questions, make sure people don't have questions about what I just said. Okay, I'm going to continue with Dean. I left off with Dean. Yes, they have prepaid treatments, but they have dropped off from regular treatments. We are calling them to get them back on schedule. Okay, so Dean, I think everybody can see these questions, right? So just click on the Q&A box if you can't see it. So I'm reading Dean's question. So they have prepaid treatments, but they have dropped off from regular treatments. And we are calling them to get them back on schedule. So I believe your original question is how much is too much? It's never enough. That will be my answer, Dean. You keep on following up with them. Because let me ask you this. They dropped off of treatments. Do you know why they dropped off of treatments? This will pertain to everybody here in this webinar. When your patients, they already prepaid for the treatments and they suddenly dropped off and they're like, they ghosted you. So Dean's question is, how much should you follow up on them? How frequent? How much? How much is too much? So my question to y'all, if you can put in the chat, when your patient drops off, do you know why they dropped off? Whoever, do you know? That's the question. Do you know when your patients drop off? So Chelsea says yes, she knows. Okay, great. So if you don't know why your patients dropped off, don't assume. That's the biggest mistake. Acus assume why they dropped off. Oh, because they got better, their symptom was gone. Their symptom was gone, so that's why they're not coming anymore. No, that's rarely the reason. Here's a gold nugget. When your patients stop coming in for treatments, it is rarely because they are doing better and don't think they need treatments anymore. That is rarely the reason. Most acus think that's the reason. Oh, I did a great job. No, you didn't. You didn't really help them. How do I know that? Because we call our patients back. We call them until we get a hold of them. And then what do we find out? When we do get a hold of them, this is what we find out. So patients coming in for back pain, and their pain is pretty much gone. We call them and they just ghosted us. So we're like, so, you know, what's going on? Is everything okay? He goes, oh yeah, it's doing great. Yeah, y'all really helped with my back pain, but I'm still not able to go play golf. So I decided to go try something else. When I started getting that response from patients over and over and over, that's when I developed something called the life effect. So patients with the life effect is, well, is anybody interested in me elaborating on this, or should I just move on? Does anybody want me to elaborate? Just only one person? Okay. So the life effect, perfect, is the real reason why patients are in your practice, why they're seeking help. It is not their symptom. If you focus on their symptom, you will have what happened to Dean happen all the time, very frequently. They just suddenly stop coming for treatments. If you only focus on their symptom, like pain, then they will dictate their own treatment plan. The life effect is the main reason they are in your clinic. So one of these patients that we call, this is years ago, when I developed this concept of called life effect. I'll type it in here. Can I type it on my PowerPoint? Oops, can't type it on my PowerPoint. So I'll type it in the chat. Life effect is, what is his back pain preventing him from doing? The reason why the patient walked into my clinic was because he could not play golf. Why could he not play golf? Because his back pain was prohibiting him from playing golf. And therefore, he thinks if he can get rid of his back pain, he will be able to play golf again. That's the patient's thinking process. So therefore, he's like, ooh, maybe acupuncture can help me take away my back pain. Calls my office, comes in, I take away his back pain, he ghosts me. He just disappears. We call him back, he's like, yeah, we did help his back pain, but we didn't solve his problem. His problem was he wanted to play golf. Even though his back pain was pretty much gone, he still couldn't play golf. Why is that? Because every time he tried to swing, it would bring the back pain back. So as long as he didn't play golf, he didn't have any pain. So this is where you're going to have to ask yourself, what type of practitioner do you want to be? What type of clinic do you want to run? I can split it to two categories. One is called relief care, one is called corrective care. Relief care is only focusing on the symptom. You take away the back pain and then you discharge the patient. Corrective care is you actually correct the problem so that they can return to doing what they wanted to do. So you need to decide what type of practitioner you want to be. Okay, I'm going to finish this point and then we're going to go on break. Okay, so you need to determine what type of practitioner you want to be. Do you want to be a clinic or practitioner known for relieving symptoms? Or do you want to be a practitioner known for providing solutions to the real problem, to correct the problem? There's no right or wrong. I know there's many relief care acupuncture clinics out there, very successful. So it's your preference. It's really what your values, not your preference. It's what you value. What do you want to do, right? So it was at that point that I had an aha moment, because too many patients were saying the same thing. It's like we help their symptom go away, but they still are not where they want to be. And it was at that point it flipped in my brain. And at that point we started focusing on life effect. So this goes back to answering Dean's question. How often is too often to contact them? You contact them until you get a response. Because here's another thing. How do you know that something just awful didn't happen to that person, that patient, or their family? Because we've had situations where we call the patient and their mother suddenly passed away. And that's why we haven't been able to reach them. And we thought that, oh man, they're just, we were like thinking, man, why don't they just answer the phone and all this stuff? And then we find out their mother passed away. We felt terrible. So the reason for following up, here's another nugget. Do you actually care? Do you care for your patients? Right? If you care for your patients, let's say so this is just to everybody, not just Dean. Let's say you had your sister just suddenly stopped calling out of nowhere, right? You would usually call her once a month, and then suddenly she just ghosted you. What would you do? Would you ever stop calling her? Would you ever stop following up? Probably not, right? So most of us, if it was family or friends, we would keep calling them. Why? Because we would be concerned. Why? Because we care. We care about our family. We care about our friends. And even if they don't reach back, man, well, actually, what do you do next? Like, you call them and they still don't reach back. You start calling them even more, right? I'm talking about, this is your family. If your family just suddenly disappeared, you can't reach them, how often, let me answer in the chat, how often would you call your family if you just suddenly could not reach them? How many times would you follow up? Put in the chat. Nobody would follow up? Daily. She'll see us daily, every day, until I reach them. Free time. Daily, often. Open and on repeat. Exactly. So those are your answers. Those are your answers to Dean's question. How many times should you follow up with your patient that ghosted you? Those are your answers, if you truly care about them. Rosianna never calls? Never call your family? Okay, hey, every family is different. But however, that's how many times. And then, are they going to be pissed off when they finally answer the phone? They might be. But this is what you communicate to them. The reason why I was calling you so often, so frequently, because I was afraid that some type of emergency could have happened. I wasn't sure if you were okay. I was calling you so frequently because I wanted to make sure you were okay. Isn't that what you would tell your family? Isn't that what you would tell your friend that just suddenly disappeared? Why should it be any different for your patient? It would only be different if you don't care for your patients like you care for your family and your friends. That's the difference. It's not right or wrong. I'm just saying that's the difference. So in our clinic, we treat our patients like we treat our friends and family. We call them frequently. If we have to call them every day, 3 to 4 times a day, we do it. Do they get pissed? Sometimes. But after they hear the reason why we are doing that, instantly flip a switch, apologize, and they tell us they appreciate that. Because no other clinic, not even acupuncture clinic, no other medical clinic has shown them the amount of care that our clinic does. I just spent a whole lot of time on my secret weapon. So if y'all weren't paying attention, you lost big. That is the secret weapon to my clinic. Why we are the largest clinic in Austin, Texas, in a city of 400 plus clinics. We are the largest because we show the most care. That's the difference. All right, guys, let's take a break. It is, what time is it? It is 10:36. Let's take, I think we can take a 15-minute break, right? Let's take a 15-minute break. So roughly around, what is that? 51? Yeah. So 10:51. We'll be back in 10:51, guys. Thank you.
Recording stopped.